I was grieving a version of my marriage that didn't exist, that never existed. It was made up. It was fairy tale like. It was fairy tales and rainbows, should I say. And I struggled for the first few years. So let's unpack that a little bit. Welcome to Put It on the Table. This is not about being perfect. I don't ever proclaim to be an expert, but after 8 years of marriage, there are some things I really want to share. So let me introduce myself for those of you who are new here. My name is Brittany Williams, and after 2 seasons of interviewing fabulous wives from different walks of life, experiences, and tenures, I realized that I kind of have some things to say too. And so in this series, I'm really going to be inviting you in, sharing my personal journey, lessons, stories, heartbreaks, victories, but really all keeping Christ at the center and acknowledging his presence through it all. So let's talk a little bit about when I got married. And this kind of is a reflection on some of the previous episodes that I've had in the first 2 seasons where we talked a little bit about unmet expectations, okay? So when my husband and I got married, I imagined certain things about the husband I would have, what he would be doing, how we would communicate, and how quickly we would grow into the life that we talked about. But y'all, marriage has a way of kind of exposing the differences between expectation versus reality. And I want you to think for a second. Think about when you first got married and what you thought, believed deep down in your heart that marriage is going to be about. Now, think about what it actually is. There may be a difference in those two. Now, there are several beautiful things, but there also may be some challenging pieces as well. So there came a point in my marriage when I realized I wasn't just disappointed, okay? Let's be real, we're being real. But I was grieving a version of my marriage that didn't exist, that never existed. It was made up. It was fairy tale like. It was fairy tales and rainbows, should I say. And I struggled for the first few years because I tried to reconcile from within why my marriage wasn't the way I thought it was going to be. That realization changed a lot. I had to kind of shift my mindset to accepting where we actually were, and also letting go of or coming to the realization that my marriage would never be what I dreamed it would be. Doesn't mean there aren't good moments, doesn't mean there aren't great moments, but the perception that I had believed based on social media, based on TV, right? Movies, all the things. I had to come to terms with that. Here's what I realized a little bit, and I'm still working on it, y'all, if I'm being honest. Instead of trying to force my husband to becoming the person I imagined, God had to start changing me, right? And so I had to start stripping down these layers and really taking an inward look to say, okay, Britt, first of all, what made you believe that this could be, and why was that your belief? Were you not challenged enough? Perhaps you didn't seek enough counseling and therapy to really unpack traumas that you've experienced coming in. Perhaps it was setting false expectations based on things you saw, or perhaps fragments of what you deemed were perfection and not really perfection. y'all know me by now. So I'm gonna share an example of what I mean. So first year of marriage. I always go back to the first year of marriage, y'all. If you can relate to that, can you share in the comments? First year of marriage. What a transition. What a change. What a thing. Okay. I remember, love you, my husband, but you know I'm going to be real today. Dreaming of a super clean house all the time, right? I'm kind of a type A super clean person who likes to make sure my house always looks a certain way. My husband, he's a little bit more spontaneous, if you will. He's a little bit more free flowing, as he would call himself. And I remember coming home after work and seeing his socks all over the floor. Y'all, they kept piling up. And we got into quite a few arguments about the fact that, one, why the socks were piling up. Two, why he wasn't picking up them socks. And three, did he expect me to pick up those socks? Because I wasn't having that. Something I really had to unpack fairly quickly was, okay, girl, what you thought was going to happen was that y'all were going to come in together and be this super clean, house always on 10 couple, when in reality, I was quite challenged in that space. After quite a bit of conversations, y'all, going back and forth, we came to an actual reality. We came to an agreement. We came to an understanding that, okay, so we're not at the stage, we will never be at that stage where our house is going to be clean 24/7. I've accepted that, y'all. I've thrown my hands up and come to that reality. However, we had to create something that became our norm, that became an us thing. And we're kind of got a little bit better, okay? The socks are not always on the floor. I'm no longer throwing the socks in the garbage anymore. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. Oh my. I've come so far. Yeah, there was a point where I was literally so upset all the time. I was beginning to throw his socks in the garbage. I was struggling with why. Like, why am I not living the way I dreamed I would live? And so I want to submit this to you. I'm still learning. I don't have it all together. We still have disagreements, y'all. We still have hard days. But I've learned that growth often begins when we let go of those unrealistic expectations and embrace the marriage we're actually building now. So I want you to think about something that you can genuinely say, it's not how I wanted it to go. It's not how I dreamed it would be. But what can how can I curate my current reality to get somewhere close to some of those expectations? Where can I meet in the middle? How can we create this new, beautiful experience while getting rid of the imaginary things that I brought in? So I want to ask you something. Have you ever had to let go of the marriage you imagined so you could appreciate the marriage you actually have? Can y'all share some comments down below with what that looks like for you? If this conversation encouraged you, I want you to share it with another wife who needs to hear this. Leave a comment and let me know what resonated with you as well. Please, y'all, subscribe, follow me, and click the link in my bio if you want to get connected. If you're a wife who's like, I need someone to talk to, I need someone to walk through, click the link in my bio. Let's have a chat. and we'll unpack expectations a little bit more. All right, until the next time, y'all. Keep having a seat at the table because we're going to keep putting things on this table. Take care. Bye.